Hey friends, happy social isolation. Today we're making, we're gonna make some garlic sausage. Something you can do by yourself, and I'm gonna show you how to do it today. First things first, what you wanna make sure that you do is have all of your, well, I guess I gotta do this. Have all of your utensils out, have a nice clean surface, Clorox, okay? Got your piece of meat here, okay? About 20 pounds, 21 pounds. By the time we trim it all off the bone, we'll have about 20 pounds of meat. Cutting knives, everything available, minus the cigarette. And then we also need to boil some garlic and some water because you're going to need some moisture. Now, the next step will be cutting up the meat. I'll give you an update when I get to doing that. Next. Okay, we're back. We're in the process of cutting up the meat. And I wanted to show you, just quick like, what that process looks like. Cut them into about chunks 2 inches wide so that it'll fit in the grinder when we go to grind. So basically cut it off of the bone here. There's some bone right there, as you can see. And we'll cut around that and get chunks like so. Slice her up into nice grindable pieces. And they'll go right through like butter. Okay, next step is going to be throwing them in the grinder. We'll see you when that comes by. Okay everybody, we're back. Now we've got all of our meat ground up, or cut up into chunks that will fit in the grinder here. You can do this with a hand grinder, or for somebody like us that does sausage, deer sausage, and whatever processing, you can go out and buy one of these lem deals from your local town and country or Runnings here in town. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put it through a ground, or a coarse ground. Then we're gonna switch and we're gonna put it through a fine ground. So that process here looks like so. Put it in, press the button, there it comes out. You just keep feeding that thing and it'll just keep coming out. And then when we're all done, we'll switch that out and do a coarse grind, and then it'll be ready to mix. And by this time, you need to have your garlic water that I showed you earlier off boiling, and it needs to be cooling down. Either set it in a cool place or put it in an ice bath or whatever so that water can cool off. You don't need a lot, less than a gallon, more like a quart is all you'll probably need. Anyhow, we'll let you know on the flip side of the first grind. Okay, now we've got our coarse grind done. It will look like so, okay? And the next thing to do is switch that out, like I say, and we'll put that fine grind on there so it looks like sausage noodles, okay? This is the hardest part because it doesn't go through the grinder like it will the coarse grind. So you gotta use this here plunger and start plunging it in the hole, and it comes out like so. This is the hardest part of the whole damn process. So anyhow, we'll let you know when we're done on the next step for the rest of the story. Okay, we are back. Now that we have all of our grinding done, fine grinding, we put it all into this handy dandy little mixer here that will do 20 pounds. That's why I do about 20 pounds at a time. This does 20 pounds. It's easy to do. You just kind of turn the handle and it mixes this stuff up. Back and forth, la-di-da. Next thing is make sure that you clean your surface every time that you're changing different things. You don't want meat sitting out, and keep your temperature down a little bit if you can. Otherwise, make sure your meat's cold and all that stuff. We want to be safe. We don't want botulism, shit like that. Anyway, so now we're to the seasoning and mixing situation or section. All you need really is some ground pepper, some garlic salt or garlic powder, and then some, you want to maybe use kosher salt or something. Don't use a lot of curing salt. However, I do use this is a pink cure. I use about a couple tablespoons for 20 pounds. That'll give it the distinct pink flavor, and it'll also cure it while it's freezing or whatever you do with it. so that it's a little better on your system, just in case. Anyhow, so curing salt and pepper stuff. So here's some that's pre-mixed. We're going to just dump that in, and we're going to start mixing it up. And the best part about it, don't put too much in, because every little bit you're going to have, and the best part about this, you're going to get to taste test it. So we'll see at that point. Da-di-da, da-da. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, that's why you need this water that you boiled earlier for. Dump a little bit of that in to help it mix. You need a little bit of moisture in there. You add a little bit at a time. When you're mixing, it'll make it much, much easier on you. Get all those spices and all that mixed up in there, back and forth. Or like I say, you can be doing this by hand. So, we'll see you again. Goodbye. Okay, so after you get it all mixed up and you think you have enough of your mix in there, make yourself a patty, fry it up, and taste test. And tell you what, good. Yum, yum, yum. Anyhow, good to go. Now all you gotta do is package it up. We like to use the Food Saver with Food Saver bags. The Ziploc ones do not work. However, if you don't have a Food Saver bag, you can get freezer bags, Ziploc freezer bags. Put them in them, and then you can wrap them in freezer paper, make them last a little longer, mark your dates, and enjoy. Anyway, this has been Boredom Busters Quarantine 2020.